the local recording. Let's hit the VOD recording. And Future Alex, welcome, Future Alex. Where did you pop up from? You've been sneaking there in the back. I didn't even notice you joining. We do have quite a strange tournament going on. I have just found out this is an all random, all bot game. So it's going to be completely out of the norm. This isn't your standard 5 versus 5 League of Legends match. And we are following the side of Prodigiously Gaming. This is the German team, and they're on the right-hand side with Amarok playing Misfortune, Samba44 on Skarner, TTTTTITTTTXD Smiley on Rabis. Okay. We have Dryce on Maokai, and Jokers 696 playing Trundle with that giant pillar of filth. We do have a 3-minute time window to kill. This is the standard spectator client. Looking over at the opposing team, this is the Polish side of Chupacabra. They want to steal your goats and eat them for lunch. We have Heimerdigger being played by Prezio. Camo is on Tristana. Heji IPL on Caitlyn. Is that Tasak 15? Tasak 15 on Victor. And Ucho 95 on Soraka. So definitely an interesting lineup. Definitely an interesting combination of champions here. It's going to be particularly difficult for Prodigiously Gaming with 4 melee champions and only 1 ranged in comparison to the entirely ranged team of their opponents. Combine that with the defensive abilities of Heimerdinger and the stun field of Victor, and of course the healing of Soraka, and this is going to be quite hard for Prodigiously to win an all-random, all-bottom team fight. On the flip side, they have AoE damage reduction from Maokai. They have the Pillar of Filth, which is going to be a huge CC and disruption tool, in this small lane. And then the huge AoE damage of a Misfortune Ultimate. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game plays out. You'll notice we've got Clarity Heal across the board for Prodigious Gaming. And you've got the a little bit more standard Flash Heal, Flash Ignites of Chupacabra. So I have no idea how this is going to play out. I have no idea how this is going to work. And it's just for fun. It's just interesting to see how this works. So Team Tank got a lot more crowd control. That is true. I would agree with that. You've got the suppression from Skarner plus his slow, taunt from Rammus and the small knock-up with his Powerball. You've got the range snare and the small knock-up of Maokai and, of course, the Trundle Pillar. But don't forget there's a good chunk of crowd control in the enemy team as well. Heimerdinger with his concussion grenades will be able to stun. Tristana's got a knockback that affects the entire team as well as the slow from her rocket jump. Caitlyn can put 3 traps into a lane, which literally creates landmines of death. Stand on that little cupcake and you get blown up. Victor's got an AoE stun, so not only is it going to slow people that are in the field, if the enemy team gets caught in it, that could be a 5-man stun. And then, of course, the silence from Soraka. So there's good chunks of crowd control on both sides. And I think that Chupacabra do have the better killing potential. Tristana, Caitlyn, Victor, and Heimerdinger with his rockets, those auto-tracking rockets, they deal a good chunk of damage. So it's going to be quite difficult for Prodigious to really get ahead and stay ahead, I think. But we'll have to see how this plays out. I have no idea how an all-random, all-bot game goes. So as this game is about to start loading up, thank you guys for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I am Quickshot. I am going to be shoutcasting and commentating a few more matches this evening, starting off with the all-random, all-bot tournament. There's the ladder tree in the background. I have pasted the link on IRC, so if you'd like to have a look at the teams involved and keep track on who's winning what, join IRC and check that link out. At the moment, no, we have a game crash. It looked like. Maybe it didn't. Well, that was weird. We had an error saying we had a game crash, but then it loaded. So hopefully this isn't going to be weird. We'll have to see how this happens and see how this works. With the queue sitting at 2 hours or 3 hours, one game crash means I'm done for the evening. So we hopefully don't want that to happen. To all 36 viewers that are there, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for joining. And hopefully I'll be able to give you a couple of good laughs. I plan to go a little bit Korean on this cast. Pentakill! Get some awesome screams, awesome yells up and running. So maybe turn that volume down just a tad so I don't blow your eardrums up. And if you don't know it already, I am Quickshot. I am a South African League of Legends addict, League of Legends and esports addict. And I'm going to be casting and streaming a load of content in the next few weeks. Game screen is loading up, and we have a few hamster wheels here. Not too bad, though. Anybody that has tuned into some of my ladder matches or ladder streams, you'll note that I cannot stand the loading screen. It's incredibly frustrating, and it's very annoying because I always load first, and this time around I'm, waiting on other people. Game is about to get in there. Samba 44. Skana for prodGA is going to be the last player to load in, and we'll get this underway. Go, 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 97%. Not only did I not know it was an all random, all bottom, it's an all random, all bottom Dominion game. So that pretty much means the top lanes are going to be pushed naturally by the champions, and this is just going to be crazy, crazy stuff. So I'm going to be having a look around the different champions, getting to grips with my shortcut keys. I have noticed that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will automatically click me to all of the teams on the left-hand side of the champion screen, and QWERT will immediately link me to teams on the right-hand side. So that's Skana, that's Misfortune, Rammus, Maokai, Trundle. Taking a look at the opening items, you'll notice that there's our scoreboard on the bottom. Tristana opening with a Prospector's Blade. Gold per 5 is being purchased for prodGA Gaming. So it appears these guys they've definitely got a battle strategy in mind. They're starting to generate that gold already. I don't know if we switch to the gold tab, if we can have a look. Already starting to pick up some of it doesn't look like the gold for 5's already ticking, which is a little bit strange. I would have thought they would have started already. But definitely some battle strategy in mind. Definitely working towards that, some big items early. We've got a very aggressive Chupacabra team at the minute. Rammus starting off with his Powerball, as is customary. He's going to get to this point really, really quickly. Start capping it before the enemy team does. 5-man on the bottom lane is going to be picking up the... what is the name of this? This is the Boneyard, and this is, excuse me, the Quarry. So we're going to be fighting over the Quarry on the bottom left and the Boneyard on the bottom right. And very tentative start at the moment. Misfortune throwing out her Make It Rain ability, just putting down that slow, putting some damage down, and some AoE going out from, I have no idea what, but that was a good chunk of damage being applied to the enemy team. Very, very slow start at the moment. Very, very passive. Oh, it was a small face from Maokai. His little saplings from his sapling toss, just managing to land in the face of the enemies, and the damage from landing, and then, of course, the damage from them exploding. Really doing pretty well. Heimerdinger using his turrets to great effect here, pushing this lane up. Make It Rain from Misfortune, however, clearing out those waves really, really quickly. And Caitlyn using that Piltover Pacemaker, Piltover Peacemaker, not Pacemaker. She's not 60 years old and with a Pacemaker. Peacemaker landing in the face of the enemy team and just chunking down their HP. But you'll notice the Philosopher's Stones just really regenerating their health a huge amount at the moment, which is really, really awesome. We are being pushed back, however. prodGA Gaming, everybody there managing to pick up a level, so level 5s across the board at the moment. And the ranged poke and ranged harass is keeping them back, but you can see this is part of the plan. You can see prodGA, they're being patient. They're working towards their levels. They're working towards the gold and the items, because once they've got a few more levels and once they've got a gold lead, they're going to be able to commit and tank through some of this burst, tank through some of the damage. So keeping an eye on some of the gold graphs at the minute. Everybody above the 2,000 mark, 2,200, and most of the champions from prodGA, 2,100 average for the Polish team of Chupacabra. And those Piltovers from Caitlyn are just ticking everybody down. Damage after damage after damage. Clarity has been popped now by Misfortune, so we have 4 more Clarities, which will, of course, restore mana to any and all champions around. And just a very, very passive, very, very slow start. This isn't like your normal all random, all mid, which is huge damage, huge fights, and a lot more commitment. It looks as though we're playing just a little bit cautiously here. Rammus has been told to use his heal, so summon a heal being blown now as well. Still 4 heals and 4 clarities remaining. If this team are on comms and working well together, they're going to be able to really, really control these team fights by just continuously healing up 200 to 300 hit points per summoner spell. And yeah, don't rip me off for saying Pacemaker. It's hard trying to keep track of all these abilities. Heimerdinger now up to 2 turrets. What are these little turrets called actually at the moment? They are the Hex-Tech turrets, I believe, something along those lines. There we go, H28G Evolution turrets. Sitting on the left and the right-hand side of the lanes, being used to just keep this lane under pressure, keep the lane pushed. Victor using his Death Ray, throwing it across the enemy team and ticking over some damage. At the minute, though, 497 points for Chupacabra to the 498 of Prodigious. Misfortune using her ultimate of Bullet Time, taking huge amount of damage on that enemy Caitlyn, but not enough. We're not willing to commit just yet. And with all the ultimates up and running, Rammus is committing Powerball in. He's gone for Tristana. Misses the fear, however, onto Tristana. The taunt manages to get on Heimerdinger. The dive in. Heimerdinger is going to be first blood. Going to be completely blown up. Ultimate from Victor, hitting multiple team members. Chasing them back, pushing them back. And with the combination of ultimates there, as well as the Impale from Skarner, that is one dead little Yordle engineer. We did use a couple of summoner spells. We did use some heals and some clarities there. And of course, with the tremors used from Rammus, they're going to be waiting for this. Going to be waiting for the team to carry on pushing. And I'm noticing a couple of messages here: mic louder or in-game voice lower. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop the master volume in-game just a little bit. Guys on OSC, if you could just give me a little bit of feedback there as well. Anybody that is listening, anybody that is on board, let me know how my in-game sound is in comparison to my microphone sound. And you'll notice here huge damage on Rammus. We have 2 summoner heals up at the moment, and they're going to be playing passively, waiting for that natural health regain to be ticking over. Rammus is busy regenerating a good chunk of HP, ticking over at about 3 to 4 hit points per second. And unfortunately, with that range poke, range harass, they've been forced back to the boneyard. The one kill that they do have in their favor isn't enough to get them a score lead, though, because the Polish team of Chupacabra have a 3-point advantage, 498 to the 495 to the 498 of Prodigiously Gaming. A pilt over Pacemaker to the face is going to send Rammus back. So health is too low, not willing to commit, not willing to use those summoner heals at this point in time. And yeah, we're just slowly farming, slowly ticking over. Let's have a look at the gold score at the moment. Misfortune sitting in the gold lead. 4,400 is the highest on the server, using Bullet Time. They're committing for this fight. Huge twisted advance there from Maokai. Summoner heal blown. Victor gets killed with the focus being on Maokai. Ignite's going to pick him up. Another death going down into Trundle. Soraka having to blow her wish, as well as all of her heals. Extremely aggressive rocket jump from Tristana, slowing all of the enemy team. She's going to keep staying on. This is going to be a dead Skarner as well. Misfortune in the meantime, picking up Soraka, being forced back. Tristana and Caitlyn picking them up. And this is going to be the Boneyard being captured. Unfortunately, along with the... now there's no sound in-game, apparently, so let's jump the in-game sounds up just a little bit more. I think this might be my volume for my microphone. I'm going to throw that up just a little bit. I think that is my mic volume now being bounced up. And the score advantage is now in the lead of Chupacabra. So let's have a look at my chat screen at the moment. I definitely know my microphone is louder. That might be a little too loud. I'm going to drop that just a tad. And unfortunately, with the Boneyard being captured and the Quarry, Prodigiously Gaming are now behind on points. They're going to need to pick this up. Powerball coming in from Rammus. It runs out before he can get anywhere for a taunt. Stun from Victor is going to put some pressure onto them. And with the fact that they've captured the Boneyard, the team of Chupacabra now has that small buff. Let's have a look at this buff. Mark of the Conqueror. Increases their damage by 10%. Combine that with their ranged poke, and this is going to get really hard for Prodigious to jump in there. They do have summoner spells up, clarities across the board, sadly no heals, and they also have Maokai's ultimate. So what they're going to need is a good commitment here. Powerball from Rammus. He's going to be jumping in. He's going to catch somebody here. Victor is caught. The knockup, unfortunately not able to taunt. Soraka putting a silence down. If Maokai jumps in there and puts his ultimate down, this might be enough to actually force them off the point, but the harass, the ranged auto attacks from Chupacabra, forcing them back, keeping them out of the way. Trundle steps on a little cupcake, almost goes down. Turret hit, finishing off Rammus. Bullet time from Misfortune, almost picking up the kill onto Victor, but Summoner Heal being used to prevent that happening. Now Misfortune and Trundle being taken out by the Pacemaker. The Pacemaker of Caitlyn. Her heart could take it. Small Face, Victor is down, along with a fantastic twisted advance and sapling toss. In the background though, Caitlyn finishes off Misfortune. Maokai is hiding in the bush. He's waiting for something to happen. He's waiting for his cooldowns, and he's waiting to see what happens at the minute. IRC land, I am keeping an eye on at the moment. Rammus is coming in with a Powerball. He has the speed, but it runs out. He's unable to commit. Sapling toss in the face deals huge damage to Tristana, and we really need to get this ultimate from Maokai up. We really need him to get the damage reduction down for the commitment. IRC is telling me my microphone is a little bit loud, so I'm going to drop that back to the standards where it was a few seconds ago. Powerball, knock up, into taunt. This is going to be a dead Soraka. Maokai has committed onto the Tristana. Tristana's going to get away with a sliver of life. Trundle is committing, but with all the ranged poke, he's not able to push further. And this is smart from prodGA. They're using Trundle to zone the enemy team. They can take back control of the Boneyard and stop the rot. They can stop the negative damage and stop losing points. So with that now back in control, Trundle and Rammus are going to be pushing forward. Whoever they catch is probably going to go down. Knock up into a taunt will mean this will be Victor going down. However, Rammus loses his life for it. Tristana is killed in return. Caitlyn goes down at the same time, and a beautiful, beautiful concussion grenade from Heimerdinger stuns Trundle in the traps. And now this might be the time for prodGA to push forward. They're all on low life, but they do have summoner heals coming up shortly, and it's only a Soraka and a Heimerdinger to defend the point. Kalya, thanks for the feedback regarding volume. I can hear in my headset the in-game sound is quite low, so I'm going to bump that up just a little bit. My microphone feels a little bit loud. I'd really appreciate some feedback on IRC, guys. If you can, just let me know volume-wise how I'm doing, how I'm sounding. Score at the moment is 476 to 334. So the disadvantage from the very early loss of the Boneyard has put prodGA on the back foot. But as they start getting levels and as they start getting items, they should be able to pull ahead. Let's have a look where everybody's sitting at the minute. Huge damage going down from that pacemaker and from Victor's death ray ticking over. Caitlyn is going to pop her ultimate. It lands onto Trundle. This is going to be a stun onto Maokai. Maokai gets completely melted and blown up. Taunt onto Victor, and this is going to be a dead Victor. But Tristana using the rocket jump to kill Trundle. With her ultimate, the knockbacks almost saving Skarner, but Skarner comes back in for the kill. Rammus is able to finish off Tristana on the low life, though, and he manages to pick up that health kit. It's not going to be enough to do anything other than delay his own death. And sadly, he gets taken out, hiding in the grass there. So Boneyard goes back into control of Chupacabra, and it's not looking good for prodGA. With the kill score advantage and the item advantage, it may not be possible for them to pull back at the minute. I want to know your in-game name. That's right, Hammersmith. In-game name is QuickShot TV. Feel free to add me. Feel free to follow me on Facebook or Twitter, .com/QuickShot, QU1KSH0T. And we'll be keeping updates there at the minute. Caitlyn is the focus, and a long-range twisted advance from Maokai pulls him into the middle of 3 champions. And from what looked like a fantastic initiation, almost goes wrong. Sapling tosses from Maokai are dealing huge damage. He's gone straight for the Void Staff, and it completely obliterated that Caitlyn. Rammus goes in with the Powerball and the Taunt, manages to pick up a kill onto the Heimerdinger. Misfortune, sorry, but Heimerdinger picks up the reply kill. He's just going to walk away, use the concussion grenade to apply a slow and a blind. And at the minute, Skarner just trying to shove this lane out. Sadly, with the hit point totals and the summoner heals not being fully available right now, we have 1 off cooldown. This is going to be difficult. It's going to be a difficult push for Chupacabra, but they're dealing good damage. Those saplings from Maokai are dealing huge damage. Bullet time from Misfortune, managing to push the enemy team away, managing to push them back, and the burst damage from that side is Twisted Advance. Sapling is going to pick up the kill onto Tristana. Caitlyn with a double kill from the pacemaker is going to finish them off, and Victor's ultimate is now not being controlled. It's floating at the bottom of the screen, not dealing any damage. While that is happening, Skarner manages to take out Heimerdinger, compliments of a taunt powerball knocker from Rammus, and the block of the ultimate from Caitlyn, saving Rammus's life. Sadly, though, as I don't think you're allowed to fall back and get your health back, Rammus is forced to stay in lane and is forced to rely on that Philosopher's Stone to get items, to pick up the hit points. Victor playing very, very aggressively. Rammus popping summer heal. He's just not able to land the knock-up onto Soraka and eats a pacemaker to the face, taking him out. 457 to 457 to 281, and this ranged poke damage is really starting to show dividends as many items are completed. Rod of Ages along with a near death cap for Soraka, 2 Infinity Edges along with Zeals, death cap for Heimerdinger. This is huge damage at the minute. Kalia, remember that this wasn't selected teams. This is an all random, all bot. So it's a matter of luck as well as a matter of skill, using the champions that you have available to you, using the abilities that you have available to you. And what they're going to need to do is make use of Maokai's ultimate, make use of that damage reduction. It is hugely effective. Vengeful Maelstrom reduces all non-turret damage by 20%. Combine that, Powerball from Rammus coming in, he dodges the net, and he evades and jukes the pacemaker. Stun is now used from Victor. That is a fairly high cooldown, 10 to 15 seconds before it's available to be used again. So they're going to need to jump in, they're going to need to take advantage before that can slow them down. And Maokai is just going for a full DPS build at the moment. Void Staff, he's probably going to be working towards an Hourglass. This is an aggressive, prodigious moment at the huge burst going down. Trundle almost blown up, able to land the last tick of damage with that bite of his. Taunt onto Tristana. Tristana continuously attacking. Summoning heal blown for Chupacabra, and the rockets from Heimerdinger taking out Rammus. Soraka gets picked up by Misfortune in the background, and nobody's focused Misfortune at the minute. She's been able to deal all that damage. Gets away with single digital HP. Rocket jump from Tristana is going to land the kill, followed up by rocket jump and another attack. Another rocket jump is going to be coming from Tristana. She's not willing to use it just yet, maybe not wanting to waste the mana or play too aggressively, but on every kill or assist, it resets that rocket jump cooldown, and she's just going to keep pushing, keep playing aggressively. Powerball from Rammus, unsure whether or not he wants to commit, unsure whether or not he wants to carry on past the safety of his tower. Taunt into the crystal slash. That's going to be a dead Heimerdinger, but the ultimate beautiful block from Rammus. Tristana using a rocket jump to jump away. Slow net from Caitlyn, slowing Trundle, but pushes her right back into the pillar, so she doesn't manage to escape. That's now going to be a dead Trundle, but can they commit? Can they keep pushing? If Rammus can get a small knock-up and a twisted advance from Maokai, it's going to be enough to pick up a kill. Just a little sapling landing deals a huge chunk of damage, followed by about 20% HP from the actual detonation and explosion. And we do have some really good items now starting to form for Prodigious. Maokai almost finished with his Hourglass. Trinity Force already done on Trundle. Powerball's coming in. If Soraka continues using a silence like she has, once the Powerball gets landed, Soraka immediately silences Rammus, preventing the taunt, but it's not even necessary. The range and the damage is enough to kill Rammus before he gets anywhere near. Buster shot from Tristana, pushing two of the enemy champions back, and those saplings are really starting to tick over. Look at that damage. If Chupacabra continue to purchase offensively, they're going to start going down. Twisted advance is not going to be enough to pick up that kill. Huge damage. The impale from Skana managing to pick up one kill and getting him the ability to fall back. Misfortune all the while hitting Tristana and Victor in the background. Tremors plus the taunt from Rammus is going to put some damage down onto Heimerdinger. Not enough to pick up any kills though, and because Caitlyn can use that range to her advantage, she just completely kites the damage, kites the crowd control and the ability, and uses, hangs back, playing safely, playing smartly. Rammus down to less than 50 HP, has to hang back, not allowed to recall. He's going to have to commit for this, trying to stop or delay capture of the Boneyard. Taking one pacemaker to the face, it does take him out, and they should be able to pick up 2 kills here. So that's a dead Soraka. This is now going to be a Misfortune who was stunned from the Victor, or from the Heimerdinger concussive grenade. Turret managing to pick up that kill, and kill credit, of course, going to Heimerdinger on behalf of that stun and the damage. So they're going to push back, try and take control of this Boneyard. It should be enough. Skana's going to carry on ticking. If they get some damage onto him, it's going to interrupt it. Buster shot, pushing him back, forcing him back, and now Trundle putting the pillar up. He just cannot get in range. He cannot stay in range of the enemy. Misfortune dealing huge damage. They're almost taking out Victor and Caitlyn, but they decide to run away before anything can happen. Sapling into Twisted Advance is going to kill the Tristana, and now Skana managed to pick up Caitlyn as they fall back. 2 super low health champions of Trundle and Misfortune going to pick up this Boneyard at last. And once again, not being allowed to fall back. They're going to have to commit. They're either going to have to use these summoner heals to try and stay in a fight, or maybe just give up their life. Say, right, it's not worth dying. It's not worth staying alive for this point in time. Dying and coming back with full HP and maybe some new items. So we are pushing onto this lane at the minute, and you're starting to notice that the team fights are going a little bit more in favor of Prodigiously. But at 434 to 196, they're not only going to have to capture this point, but they're going to have to keep it. Make it bullet time from Misfortune, dealing decent damage. Not enough to pick up any kills, though. Caitlyn's ultimate being tanked by Rammus, and the overcommitment from Trundle, meaning his goes down. Not able to pick up any kills. Tristana with Phantom Dancer, Infinity Edge, Prospector's Blade, and the Phage really hitting hard, tearing through the defenses of prodGA at the moment. You can see Randian's Omen ×2 at the moment, and we've got Force of Nature. Huge damage there, being just blowing up that Skarner. Ram is committing, trying to slow them down, trying to keep them off the point, but it's not going to be enough to do anything about that. Twisted advance with the turret, and Misfortune takes out Tristana. Maokai now being forced back by Caitlyn. Turret has turned onto her. Summoning Heal has been blown, and they're keeping control of this turret. Even though they haven't been able to pick up too many kills other than the overextension of Tristana, they've defended the turret. That's 2 versus 4. And it's bought them precious time for Misfortune and Skarner to come back with full hit points. Rammus is now coming in with a Powerball. That's turret damage going down into Heimerdinger. If we can get another sapling here from Maokai, that's going to be enough to kill off Heimerdinger. That is him going down. In the background, though, Victor just running away with a sliver of health, and Caitlyn picking up Maokai, compliments to his low hit points. Victor using the range and that death rate to his advantage. Massive, massive range. Skarner trying to get up there, trying to deal damage with that Crystal Slash. Ultimate from Caitlyn, ace in the hole, picking up a kill. And the stun and the silence from Skarner just means he gets taken under the turret as well. Misfortune having to blow Summoning Heal to try and stay alive. And the range from Caitlyn combined with the Infinity Edge near Phantom Dancer, it's just too much to handle. I think this is GG. I don't think the unlucky melee composition of prodGA is going to be enough to pull this back, but we'll have to see what happens. We have a disconnect from Samba as well. That could be part of the cause. I'm not certain if he disconnected earlier or if that's a rage quit, but unfortunate for the selection, unfortunately for prodGA Gaming, this does look like it's going to be a loss. So let's see what happens. 426 to 180 at the minute. Going back to the farming, let's have a quick look at the gold at the moment. 11,000, 11,000, 12,000 in comparison to the 14, 10, 10. So even with the gold per 5s ticking, it's giving them a small advantage, but not a huge amount. And I'm getting confirmation there. That is a disconnect on Skarner, and that's a really unfortunate disconnect because I believe that queue is still in place. I believe that is still a 2-hour, 3-hour queue to wait for, which means it's going to be very frustrating trying to get back into this game. Having a look at prodGA at the moment, they are setting up. They are getting ready for another push. Let's see if they can turn this around. But 4 versus 5 and not having the huge range damage of a Caitlyn and Tristana, it's really making life difficult for them. So a bit unfortunate on the draft, a bit unfortunate on the selections. And it looks as though this is going to be the first loss of the small, all random, all bot tournament. Having a look at the moment, it does appear as though Tristana is not actually playing either. So this is actually 4 versus 4. I am only noticing this in a moment. And it's completely fair play. Or it may have been just a disconnect. We have a reconnect from Tristana. That may have been a conscious decision or it may have been a disconnect. But either way, it has been 4 versus 4 for the duration of these disconnects. Maybe both players are in the same region and both have a bit of a net split from wherever they're playing from in the world. Tristana has just rejoined the battle, so unfortunately it is now going to be 5 versus 4, and I think with Tristana coming back into the fray, Chupacabra are going to push, and Chupacabra will probably be able to pick up this win. They are advancing. We do have some defensive pings here sitting on the Boneyard from the purple team of prodGA, and they're going to be hanging back. Going to see if we can pick up at least a couple of kills here. Maikai's ultimate is key. I don't know. I don't think he's used it quite enough as much as he should have, and a beautiful silence there. The infuse from Soraka just telling Misfortune to sit down and shut up. She started her bullet time, and it just completely cancelled that ultimate. It's now on cooldown, and will be for at least another minute and a half. And the poke from Caitlyn there, just trying to put pressure down. Landing a pacemaker, landing the ace in the hole, and just making sure Misfortune is at low health for the fight. And here it comes, Death Ray, stun. The net from Caitlyn as well, slowing the champions, and just huge poke. Peacemaker plus Death Ray, plus that stun field. The gravity field. Slowing and stunning anything that stays within range for too long. Chupacabra not willing to commit though. They're not willing to take this fight under the turret. They don't feel that far ahead, and they're just playing this poke game. Maokai is advancing from the back. Sapling lands. Sapling not able to blow up and put any damage on the champions, though, but it will pick up the last hit on that creep. And we're still waiting for Skarner to reconnect, still hoping Skarner will be able to rejoin. Taking a look at the items at the minute. Huge damage. Heimerdinger along with his Death Cap, Rylai's Crystal Scepter, Chalice of Harmony, so he's got practically infinite mana. Just allows him to keep throwing out those rockets, throwing out those grenades all day long. Sapling toss to the face. Sadly hits a stronger creep. What are these little creeps called? I don't know, more powerful creep, I suppose. I don't know if they've got a name. Soraka attempting to lower the cooldown or take control of this Boneyard. Finally, we have a reconnection from Skana. Maybe it's enough with the passive gold game. Huge damage going down. That's a dead misfortune. Pacemaker into the stun and the range. The death ray, more than enough to take him out. Trundle Pillar putting some distance between the team, but the melee composition just not enough to get in range. Tristana rocket jumps up, picks up the double kill, or picks up and puts some damage down. Caitlyn getting the very last hit. That is a double kill, and that's going to be Boneyard. And I think that's going to be game. We've got a huge hit point, a high hit point team of Chupacabra with a lot of finished items. They've also now got the damage buff for Mark of the Conqueror, giving them a 10% damage buff on all of their abilities and spells, and I think they're going to be able to hold this. Misfortune, though, dealing huge damage, getting a few lucky crits. Bullet Time also taking away chunks of health along with the saplings there. Skana's moving up. He's going to be trying to land an Impale, going to be trying to put some damage down. First focus is Soraka. She is down. Victor's ultimate ticking. All the while, Powerball into Taunt means they're going to pick up Tristana as well. Death Ray being hit in the background. Caitlyn's now down, and this is only one loss for the team of prodGA. That's Trundle going down. We have Rammus committing. He's landed the Powerball. Twisted Advance along with the Taunt and the Knockup is going to pick up a kill into Victor. Misfortune's been left in the background. She's going to take control of the quarry again. And it looks as though the three-man team here is going to be trying to take control of the Boneyard. The Taunt along with the Powerball. Skana moving forward. He does not have Impale up. They're taking turret hits all the time. Turrets from Jaime along with the slow is going to be enough for him to pick up a double kill along with the damage of the turret. Fantastic juke, fantastic play there from Heimerdinger, using the Rylai's Crystal Scepter slow as well as positioning and his turret to just evade all of the damage from the melee champions of Maokai and Rammus. And really well played, really well juked there. Kudos to that Heimerdinger. To the guys that are still sticking around, this is the first round of the All Random All Bottom Champion, or All Random All Bot Cup. Let's not call it a championship. It's the first game between Chupacabra on the left, blue team from Poland, and Prodigiously Gaming on the right, the German side. All Random All Bot, they did get a very unfortunate draw of 4 melee tanky champs and only 1 carry, whereas the team of Chupacabra managed to pick up 2 AD carries, an AP mage, and a defensive AP mage. I mean, Hyman's got some good burst as well. Shirelia's along with the Powerball, moving forward, not managing to land it though. Buster Shot being used defensively. We've got a huge advance here from Trundle, tanking tons of damage, finally getting to the survive. Summoner heals blown on both sides. Finally, the first player going down. Trundle's down. Bullet Time tearing Chupacabra apart, managing to pick up the kill onto Soraka. Twisted Advance picks up the kill onto Tristana, and Misfortune tearing through this team at the moment. She picks up the triple kill. Is she going to be able to pick up the quadra kill? And she does pick up the quadra kill. That's going to be now the quarry back in favor of Prodigious Gaming. Ace being picked up, and maybe we can turn this around. 394 to 99. That is now a huge deficit to hold off. This means Prodigious Gaming are not going to be able to fall back. They are not going to be able to die and give up this turret. Huge damage. Misfortune completely melts Caitlyn, but in return, the full team of Chupacabra takes her out. Without the damage source, this is going to be very, very difficult to defend. Maelstrom is down. Turret is ticking over. Death Ray from Victor tearing off a few people. The turret is still stuck onto Tristana, and with the turret, that's going to be able to be a kill. Is Trundle going to be able to hold off Heimerdinger and Soraka, however, and he's just taking too much damage from the turrets, from the rockets, from the concussion grenades. Trundle's still alive, still delaying this capture. He has, however, just gone down. Rammus is going to be pushing up. His Powerball has been used. Let's take a look on his Shirelia's. Is he going to be able to use it? That is on cooldown as well, so he's not going to be able to get that speed boost. And the enemy team has now taken back control of the quarry, and we're at a 348 to 99 game. Prodigious hanging on by the skin of their teeth. They are fighting. They refuse to give up. They refuse to go down. We will not go quietly into the night. This is their Independence Day. Let's see if they can turn this around. Misfortune is now sitting with a huge number of items. We've got Entropy, we have Phantom Dancer, we have the Sanguine Blade, another Phantom Dancer, Infinity Edge, and a third Phantom Dancer, completely foregoing boots. And with a default movement speed of 366 before Strut, she's just moving on the map like you cannot believe. Going to be dealing huge chunks of damage, and crit chance maxed out at 100%. Guaranteed crit chance with a 366 attack damage score, which will be going up as she picks up more farm. Look at the damage though from Kate, and one auto attack and a pacemaker. It just completely removes their hit points. And all of a sudden, Chupacabra are nervous. Chupacabra are scared to commit. Trundle and Rammus are getting to the point where they can survive the burst. They can survive the damage. Saplings from Maokai being tossed in, still dealing good damage. Still being able to help clear those waves and keep the enemy team pushed. Let's see what happens at the minute. We got a Powerball from Rammus. He pushes in. He does get knocked back with Buster Shot and the Silence used from the Infused, but that's a lot of abilities. They need to commit now. With the Shirelius, could it go in there and try lock somebody down, try shut somebody out. Rammus, Rammus attempted to commit, and after the abilities were used, didn't carry on going in, and I think that's what they need to change. Once the cooldowns are blown for Chupacabra, that's the time to get in there. That's the time to push with the crowd control, the suppression, the taunt. Rammus using his Powerball to fall back this time round, and still waiting, still passive, still very careful at the moment, and with the damage that they've taken from this harass, the damage they've taken from this farm, from the abilities of Chupacabra, prodGA are on the back foot. Let's see what happens here. Rammus is moving in. He's popped his Shirelius straight onto a Yordle trap. That means he's snared. 3 players trapped by Victor's stun. They have managed to dive onto him. Summon a heal blown. Bullet time hitting 4 champions from Chupacabra. Misfortune's going to start cleaning house here. That's a dead Caitlyn. That's a dead Victor. MF is going to keep up the pressure. She's going to keep pushing. And along with her double up and the damage that she's going to be dealing, they should be able to take this turret. Rammus is going to move forward. One of these champions has to tank the damage. One of these champions has to get in there. Powerball or burst or something. Huge damage, Misfortune. Summon a heal blown. She 3 shots the enemy Heimerdinger. This is going to be a dead Soraka as well. And they've taken control of the quarry. 335 to 99, ladies and gentlemen. The team of prodGAs have not lost a single point since that first team fight, allowing them to take control of the quarry. And all of a sudden, things are looking good. Things are looking a bit better. Can they survive the next team fight? Can they survive the damage that's going to be put down from Chupacabra? Because if they can, this is going to be a victory. This is going to be them turning around. They should be able to hold this, and if they can keep their focus right, and if they can keep Misfortune alive, this is going to be a complete whitewash. Misfortune is using 3 or 4 shots to kill any of the champions on Chupacabra at the moment. As soon as she activates her impure shots, which gives a massive attack speed boost, she's already at 2.1. Combo that with her W impure shots, and she's going to be max 2.5 attacks per second. Combined 346 attack damage and guaranteed crits. 3 shots onto Caitlyn. No damage from a red buff or similar ticking damage over time means it's not going to be able to pick up a kill, but she still has all of her spells and abilities up. She's going to have to be able to avoid the damage from some of the champions. Life steals through Tristana. That's 2 deaths for the minute. Dodges the death ray with a juke in the bush. Bullet time is also going to pick up a kill. 2 kills as well. That's a double kill, or rather not, it's a triple kill. Completely surviving, and these points are ticking down. 261. Misfortune life-stealing. The Impale from Heimerdinger is going to allow them to pick up some health, and now is the scary part. They've lost Rammus, they've lost Maokai. It's going to take time for those 2 champions to get back under the tower. Misfortune is at less than a third life. Less than 33% of her hit points, and she's just eaten an ace in the hole to the face. We have a potential rage quit from Tristana, or a disconnect that could be server-related, and Misfortune is sitting with 90 health to hold off this point. If they lose this point, it's going to be more and more difficult to come back. We do have 3 full health hit points, and it looks as though Misfortune is picking up those health relics over and over, trying to get as much health as she can, trying to regen. Caitlyn is now starting to get to the point where she can also, just 2 hit a couple of champions. Summon a heal being used, and huge damage going down onto that Skarner. In the background, the slow combined with Heimerdinger's rockets and the death ray from Victor takes him out, and now it looks as though prodGA are going to be on the back foot. They can't sustain the damage. They can't handle the ranged poke. And with the slow and the stun from Victor, that's 2 of them down. That's going to be so difficult to defend. Chupacabra have not committed though. Sapling into huge twisted advance from Maokai is going to manage to almost kill Victor, but along with the summoner heals, he gets away with his life. They've pushed them back, and now Chupacabra have taken advantage or taken control of the quarry, sorry. The quarry, quarry. So this is now 4 players for Chupacabra. They're going to be trying to push, they're going to be trying to defend, really. They've lost Tristana, who was one of their main damage dealers, Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Frozen Mallet, and a Sanguine Blade. So that would have been, that's a huge loss to not have her around. And with The tanky DPS side of prodGA now getting to full item builds, now at max level. And you've seen as long as they can protect and keep Miss Fortune alive, she just completely tears opponents apart. Tristana has reconnected, so we're back to a 5v5. So this should be a fair 5 versus 5 defense of the quarry. And we'll just have to see how this goes. Those saplings, if Maokai can hit 4 or 5 saplings, that's going to be a dead champion. So he's really starting to hit hard. Void Staff, Zonya's Hourglass, Frozen Heart, and Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Taking a look at Trundle, he's even gone for the Stark's Fervor, which I believe has been renamed to Zeke's Herald. That's it. Giving him cooldown reduction, lifesteal to all nearby champions, and attack speed advantage. So it's really, really working well. Aegis of the Legion thrown in there. Couple of, really good team-based items. Randian's Omen, Frozen Mallet. Sapling once again. Look at the damage from that sapling. It's meant to be just a minor harass. And it's dealing a good 200 hit points, 300 hit points of damage, even with the resists of that Victor. Flash being used by Caitlyn, and a beautiful, beautiful trap. This is going to be 3 stuns from the enemy team. Bullet time from Miss Fortune, completely melting Victor. In the meantime, though, Trundle is being focused by the enemy team, so he goes down. Miss Fortune manages to take out Caitlyn in the interim, and now Tristana takes out Rammus. There's been no focus onto Miss Fortune, though. She's been left to tear these champions apart. 3 versus 3. Miss Fortune's going to step in, and not enough, unfortunately. Not being able to continually attack and being focused early meant she had to run back, and this is going to be a dead Miss Fortune. Fantastic play from Tristana, comboing her rocket jumps, and now this is going to be a capture of the Boneyard. Trundle's pushing forward, and this has gone back and forth, back and forth. If they cannot defend this point, or if they can't retake it quickly, this is going to be a loss for prodigiously gaming. Twisted advance into sapling toss. We now have the Maelstrom down. Maelstrom will be expunged to deal a huge damage to Tristana. Heimerdinger gets away by the skin of his teeth. Minute amount of hit points left. Rammus is he's not gonna have any of that. He has his Shurelias up. He has Deathfire Grasp, and his Randians is coming soon. Combine that with a slightly unusual Yomumu's Ghost Blade. He's going to be hitting pretty hard as well. Crit chance, attack damage, movement speed, it's all going to combine. 185 to 86. So for 300 points, taken off Chupacabra, prodGA on the right have managed to, defend or lose only 10. The Rockets in combination with the Twisted Advance, they're killing Maokai as he flies through the air. That was a pretty funny way to go down. Heimerdinger just deciding he needs HP, he needs mana, or he needs to spend money. So he just committed, moved forward, he took the death. He knew that it's more important to be a full health, a member of the team that's actually adding value, actually adding damage, than it was to be a half health, low mana member doing nothing. So Rammus is currently claiming all of these health relics. We've got a few clarities up for prodGA, and it doesn't look like any heals at the moment. One is almost coming up for Trundle, so they may want to commit to a fight, and it's just going to come down to a matter of focus. prodGA are going to have to take out Tristana and Caitlyn, and if they can take those champions out and keep Miss Fortune alive, that's an instantly won team fight. It is that simple. 183 to 86, the scores have stagnated. Quarry on the left, Boneyard on the right. Polish team of Chupacabra coming against the German side of prodGA Gaming. Who is going to be victorious in this completely silly, all random, all bot? A bit of a pause in the gameplay at the moment. prodGA, this is going to play to prodGA's hands, having more summoner heals, having more, team-based abilities, team-based items. If they get those cooldowns back, if they get the ability to use them in a single team fight, it's just going to be an instant win for that team fight. Miss Fortune, triple Phantom Dancer, Infinity Edge, Sanguine Blade, and Entropy is just completely tearing apart these enemy team. And you'll notice she's got on Entropy, for the next 5 seconds, your basic attacks reduce target's movement speed by 30% and deal 80 true damage over 2.5 seconds. That is huge numbers when you think about it. Now, both teams are scared. Both teams are nervous to lose. They don't want to go down. They don't want to give up more points. They're trying to keep this advantage as best as they can. And it's scary for prodGA because they don't have the poke. Let's have a quick look at the gold graphs at the minute. 29,000 gold. Shirelia's Powerball plus all the movement speed buff from Rammus. It's just going to be completely ended by a Caitlyn trap. The bullet time is going to deal some damage to Soraka, but not enough to deal anything to the team. Trundle managed to eat Ace in the hole. They're protecting Caitlyn. Summoner heal has been blown, so it's a bit of health. That was protecting Maokai, in fact. He's moved back for the relic. Powerball into the knockback. Does catch Caitlyn, not enough to do anything more than that though, and that's a dead Rammus and dead Trundle. Skarner was able to pick up Impale onto the enemy champion, but was not able to protect Misfortune from the enemy Tristana, and this is going to be the Boneyard lost for prodGA. Just a really unfortunate stepping on the trap there, completely sat Rammus down. Soraka picking up the final kill, Soraka managing to pick up the ace, and this is now a 181-82 scoreline. We're going to have to wait for all 5 prodGA members to come up here. I don't think they should be committing 3 versus 4 or 3 versus 5. They're moving forward. They're going to be taking this fight. Trundle's committed. He's used his ultimate. Zonya's Hourglass on Victor. He's going to come back. Twisted Advance is going to take him down. Misfortune is going to completely obliterate Tristana. Shirelia's is going to come from Rammus. He completely ignores Soraka. He's going to be moving to the Heimerdinger, and that was the right thing to do. Forces Heimerdinger to pop his flash. He gets away to safety, and they lose another 20 points for prodGA. They do manage to take back control of the Boneyard, and that's 10 seconds now where they can pretty much get up to the doorstep of the quarry and then be stalled by another 5 versus 5. A 40-minute game, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dominion, which is usually over in 25. Rammus once again stepping onto a Yordle trap. It just completely ends his push. And Misfortune taking tons of damage from those Hextech rockets. She has changed one of her items for a Black Cleaver, increasing her attack damage. And Misfortune sitting with a... does she still have a 100% crit chance? 85% crit chance with Black Cleaver. So that's attack speed bonus. Ace in the hole, almost going off to take off that Rammus, but it wasn't necessary. The final auto attack was more than enough, or the tick from... the explosive shot, managing to pick up the kill on Rammus. And now we've got a low health Trundle, which is not good. Trundle needs to get up there, tank as much damage as possible, and really keep these people off Misfortune. Falling back, being pushed back to their point at the moment, being pushed back to the Boneyard. And 4 versus 5, Trundle is low. Rammus is now back alive. He's going to use his Powerball to get into the lane and push forward. Victor sitting with a Guardian's Angel, so not only does he have Zonya's Hourglass to come back to life, but once he goes down, he gets respawned from Guardian's Angel, or rather, sorry, Hourglass will keep him protected for a few seconds, and Guardian's Angel will just bring him back to life. So keep an eye on how things go here at the moment. Tristana will be able to kill Misfortune with about 4 or 5 hits, and those Caitlyn Yordle traps are just getting so annoying. Continually slowing down the push, continually cancelling out any aggression that the team wants to put down. Misfortune landing 4 auto attacks and almost completely obliterating that Victor. Here we go. Shirelia's into Powerball. Buster Shot is going to force them back. That's a huge stun from Victor. Victor will go down in and amongst this. His ultimate is still up, however. He gets respawned from Guardian Angel. That's going to be a dead Rammus. We've also in and amongst all of this found a dead Misfortune. Dead huge damage going down. Micah finishes off Victor. Soraka is finished off by Skarner, but it's not enough. Caitlyn and Tristana managed to survive all of the damage. Ace in the hole, still finishing off Maokai, even with his ultimate being up. And it's just not the right focus. Yes, they got Soraka. Yes, they got Victor. But that's not the damage dealers. That's not the people they need to be focusing. Huge damage from Misfortune. She practically 1v1s Tristana. And that's her going down. Trundle's going to be able to pick up a kill onto this Caitlyn. Along with Rammus powerballing in, we'll get the knock-up, we'll get the taunt, and that's going to be a dead Caitlyn. Rammus is moving forward. He's not going to be able to push this point alone. He's not going to be able to lock down the quarry by himself. But it allows him to take control of the Boneyard, and we've got 155-38. prodGA are not giving up. prodGA will not go quietly into the night. 42 minutes for a single Dominion game. I have no idea about all random or bottom. For the 30-odd people that are still sitting on the stream, hit me up on IRC. Let me know if this is normal. Let me know what sort of time frames you guys have seen on these weird, all random, all bot games. And yeah, give me some feedback. If you don't know who I am Quickshot. I will be doing some casting and streaming as often as possible. And you can follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Quickshot, QU1KSH0T. A little bit more passive, 155-38. 1 or 2 more pushes. If this game carries on the way that it's been going, it'll need 2 more successful caps of the Boneyard for old Chupacabra to finish this off. And let's have a quick look at Misfortune's damage at the moment. 436 damage. along with an 85% crit chance. Huge damage going down. Now they've got the right one. They focus Caitlyn. That's going to be Caitlyn's Guardian Angel. Almost pops. But while they're doing that, Tristana just dives onto Misfortune, tears her apart. That's the Guardian's Angel pop for Caitlyn. But they've lost 3 players to do it. Rammus, Maokai, and Misfortune all down. Trundle being finished off at the end. And Skarner being forced back. I fear this is GG, ladies and gentlemen. They have delayed the inevitable. They have delayed the loss for as long as they can, but I don't think they're going to be able to do anything against the Tristana-Caitlyn combo of Team Chupacabra. Greetings, Voodoo or Vodo. Welcome. We got some huge damage going down. Misfortune does manage to pick up a kill onto the enemy Caitlyn, but it is in response or in reply to a death for Rammus. Victor having to use his hourglass to avoid the damage. Misfortune picks up another. Misfortune has popped the Guardian's Angel of Heimerdinger, so that's going to be a triple kill, or double kill in total now. She's going to be able to pick up Tristana as well. Quadra kill going down for the Tristana and for the Victor. 23 points, 22 points, 21 points, 20. That is officially one last chance. If prodGA lose one more team fight, and if they lose the Boneyard one more time, that's going to be them going down. Beautiful, beautiful play there. Shirelia's with the Powerball in combination with the Taunt. That's a dead Caitlyn. This is going to be a dead Soraka as well. They might be able to capture this point. Victor is going to come in. Tristana tearing Rammus apart. Rammus with some huge HP, not enough to survive. The ultimate from Victor with a death ray and a couple of rockets from Heimerdinger means that Misfortune goes down. Rammus uses Powerball to escape, but it's not going to be enough. It hasn't left him with a huge amount of hit points to continue fighting. And this is just turning out to be one epic, epic battle at the moment. Neither team willing to give up, neither team willing to surrender, and just back and forth, back and forth. Misfortune is back up, and these death times are still super, super low. Rammus is going to be rolling back. I wonder if he's looking for another health relic. Let's have a quick look at the gold scores at the moment. 34,000 gold in Misfortune. She's been left to pretty much solo farm every single creep for the last 45 minutes. Clearly leaps and bounds ahead of the rest of the team. The gold per 5's not working out, sadly, because they've just had too many deaths on the team of prodGA. So gold graphs in favor of Chupacabra, team fights in favor of Chupacabra as well, and it's looking dire. It's looking very, very scary, because not only do prodGA have to win a team fight, they have to control the quarry. They cannot let prodGA take it back. So some damage being put out again. The Piltover Pacemaker. Bullet time from Misfortune going down. A little bit wasted. I don't think that's completely necessary. It is a 1.5 minute cooldown. So it's not the highest cooldown, but in a game like this, you really need to be as effective as possible. Saying that, though, I don't think her bullet time ability would be dealing more damage than her auto attack. So maybe it's better to just use it, push the champions back, farm out a couple of creeps. 129 to 20. Tristana landing an auto attack onto Misfortune, but she just heals it back. I mean, she's gaining so many hit points with that lifesteal. Her Sanguine Blade giving a 15% lifesteal, plus additional lifesteal, grants 5 attack damage and 1%, for each... well, that's a bit strange. Attack damage by 1%. 1% lifesteal of her attack damage. While I've been trying to figure that out, they managed to capture Rammus on one of the Yordle traps. He takes a ton of damage, ton of poke, eats a whole bunch of auto attacks and a whole bunch of abilities. And just the range and the poke, it's so frustrating, so difficult to deal with. I feel for prodGA. I feel the annoyance that, of having to sit back and not be able to get in range. And the few times you do push up, like a Rammus or Maokai, just being caught by a trap or being silenced by Soraka, it's incredibly frustrating. prodGA using the vision to their advantage, hiding behind the rocks, the giant rocks, and Misfortune dealing huge damage to Victor. Victor completely baiting them, though. Rammus does get taken out in amongst this. Misfortune is going to be committing. She hasn't been attacking for too long, though. Unfortunately, not being able to do a huge amount to save the Skarner, being forced back by Victor's ultimate. And unfortunately, that's going to be a 4-for-2 trade. Misfortune was able to pick up 2 kills, but not enough to do a lot more. And she just spent too much time trying to get to safety, too much time trying to hang out in the back. And she really needs to commit. I think this is going to be a good game. I think Victor, Tristana, and Heimer are going to be able to hold off these next 15 points, 14, 13. Keep an eye on that scoreboard, guys, because in order to stop that rot, in order to stop that tick, they have to capture the boneyard. They have 8 seconds to do so. 5 seconds to do so. That's picking down, guys. 5, 3, 2, 1. I think this is GG, and that is good game, ladies and gentlemen. Chupacabra pick up the win right at the end there. Really, really hard fought. Really, really well-deserved victory in the end. And wow, I cannot get over the duration and the length of that game. So let's wait for the scoreboard to pop up, guys. Let's have a quick look at what's happening here at the moment. I don't know if there's been some delay. Compliments of our lovely Riot Games server. It does appear as though this isn't going to be giving me the scoreboard, so I do apologize about that. I would have loved to have seen that. Yeah, don't wait for the scoreboard. It won't load, so really unlucky. Well played, guys. What I will do is, let's get back to the menu screen. I'm going to stick my camera back up. Congratulations to El Chupacabra. They win the first game. I'll tell you what we can do, actually. Let's do the monitor and the camera. And let's have a look at our ladder. How does our ladder look at the minute? First game going to El Chupacabra. I will double check with the rest of the guys. This is double elimination. There we go. As you can see, the team's moving down into the bottom bracket. I'm going to quickly message the players involved and just make sure I've got the next game set up. I think I'll do one more of these all random, all bot games. They are pretty strange. They are pretty interesting. So hang around for a few minutes, guys, while I get everything set up. I'm going to mute the microphone, put some music on in the background, and I will be back shortly.